Folks, I use a Logitech computer cam. It is a high definition pro webcam, a C920. Now, I don't need to buy any more cams, but if the picture quality or the sound quality is not to your liking, try to listen to what I'm saying instead of what it sounds like or instead of what it looks like. Do you think some of you can do that? Hello, folks. GW2 here. We live in a time when eternal life is for those who can afford it and eternal control for those who can't. And if you don't understand it, I can't help you. Finding truth is more than just a search for data. It's a lot of research. And those of us who research diligently or research for long periods of time, we store knowledge up. And then when we break loose and start laying this knowledge on somebody who has done no research, it's either Greek to them or they just can't pick it up. They can't understand it. And when you're searching for truth, it can be an excavation in self or an excavation of yourself, because you have to keep on going no matter what truth you find out, no matter where it takes you. You've got to keep on going if you're a truth seeker, because nothing can stay hidden forever if it actually exists. When you believe a lie for so long, and I'm not saying any specific lie, I'm just saying when you believe a lie for so long, the truth doesn't set you free. It tears you apart. The truth is the easiest thing to remember. Your story never changes, no matter how difficult it is to perceive or to believe, no matter how difficult it is. You tell the truth, your story should never change. Not even a little tidbit, unless you leave something out. It's just like water level. Plumb, level, and square. That's how everything is constructed. Plumb, level, and square. Now they construct round things and stuff, things that are curved, but basically all construction, everything that's constructed is plumb, that's straight up and down, it's level, straight across, and it's square. It's got 90-degree angles on it. Now, when it's straight up and down construction, I want you to consider this. If the earth is spinning, if the earth is revolving, if you build a 20-story you build a 20-story building, that building, as you build it, all of your instruments are going to show that you're building it out of level, you're building it out of plumb, you're building it out of square. Because a round earth would move all the buildings just like this. You would be upside down at some times. It would be changing the physical position of anything that you were trying to construct, just like hands on a clock. A skyscraper would be sideways at 9 and 3, upside down at 6. And the oceans that stay level, except for controlled waves or big splashes, and that's what man can do with their tectonic weapons, all of that water would continually wash over all land and would pour over a ball constantly all the time. I'm so sick of people debating whether the earth is flat or round. Anybody that believes the earth is round after they have looked at 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 videos, and after they've really considered it and thought about the construction, how nothing would stay in its place, and they still believe the earth is round, you're definitely a blooming idiot. And I got no sympathy for you. You're a dumb bunny. And not only are you a dumb bunny, but it's sad. You're sad. There are many people who worry that something terrible is going to happen to them all the time. But there's just as many people who worry that nothing is ever going to happen to them, any way, shape, or form. Now, I'm going to tell you this. The CIA trains, and they supply, and they reward terrorism, terrorists, all over the place, anywhere you go across the earth. The terrorists who make the news are mostly some of that country's last patriots if they are assaulting authority. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you get things on the news about the bad guys being killed and all this kind of stuff, they actually, most of the time, are the good people. They're the last patriots. They're the last standoff in whatever country that the United Nations and the United States is invading. Because they're not going to put on the news when the CIA's trained Al Qaeda and all of this other stuff. When they get the stuffings beat out of them, that's not going to be put on the news because that's their boys. And the CIA trains them all. They start all these wars right here. Instead of civilians all through, all the time, instead of civilians standing up and doing something about it, because you know that saying, for evil to flourish or for bad to advance, it's for good people to do nothing. Well, that's what's going on in the United States. We got plenty of good people here. But don't nobody care. No one wants to get interested, and no one wants to listen to me or someone like me ranting and raving, trying to wake your conscience up. You see, the CIA trains these people, and then when they get into their country with their implants, with the people that they've sent in there, they recruit people, and a lot of times they recruit good people. These people are not used to having money. They don't have cars. They don't have a computer and the internet and all that kind of stuff. They got a herd of goats, or they got 3 or 4 goats, or 2 or 3 sheep, or a couple of donkeys or something. But they recruit a lot of the good people to aid them and to rat on their own people and to assist in bringing the New World Order and the United Nations and the U.S. control into their country and control over their country, folks. Those of us who have researched enough to have some knowledge about these and many other things that had to be researched to know. You can't just, it's hard, it's very difficult, and I understand. You can't just look at somebody and listen to them or study their facial features or their eyeballs or something and then understand what they're saying, because you people spend too much time analyzing the person that's talking. When you realize that person that's talking is telling you the truth, you don't need to analyze them anymore. But when you realize that the Paul Bagleys and these stupid people out here are telling you a bunch of stuff, oh, the Giants are coming again. Bull. I don't believe that worth a hoot and a hanny. They may have been here one time, but they're not coming back again, folks. If they are, it's a CGI image or it's a daggone hologram, and you folks need to realize that, because those of us who have done the research, we paid our dues and we put the time in, and we found out. It's like I said a while ago, things will not stay hidden if they actually exist. So you got to research to know. Then you got to try to understand, and those who have knowledge have the least of friends, or in some cases, hardly no friends at all. Everybody's a taker of you. Nobody's really a friend. Our overseers or our rulers keep secrets. They have the power because they have the money, folks. Now I'm going to tell you about that money. The only power greater than money is knowledge. So they keep the knowledge out of our minds, that keeps the money out of our pockets, so they control the power. And they use the bringer of light, Lucifer, to scare each other away from knowledge. Humanity has been lied to for a long time, as parents lie to their children, because most of the time the parents don't know any better. They were taught lies as well as they are teaching their children lies. Now I'm going to tell you, no man can study another man. You folks trying to pass judgment on me, here's your sign. No man can study another without first studying one's own self. How can one compare without comparisons? When one doesn't know oneself, they can't compare anything or anyone to themselves in any kind of way, and they need to keep their mouths shut and listen to the people who's doing the research and pay a little bit of attention, because folks, your number's coming up and this is coming right to you sooner or later. Folks, I want to tell you, these fires, these recent fires in California, where it didn't burn the plastic trash cans up, it didn't burn the trees up, although they're going to suffer in the long run, but microwave technology was used to set those houses on fire out there and to burn up everything, because it melted the magnesium engines and the aluminum wheels, melted it like a blowtorch on wax. There's a lot of telltale signs out there, and why this country isn't up in arms over other humans using the reptilians' technology and these tectonic weapons on other humans, why no humans are mad about this going on constantly all of the time. I don't understand that about humans. You stand around, you really are Goyen or cattle or sheeple. You really are. Sheep, I've seen a couple of videos where sheep will stand and let 2 or 3 wolves kill everyone in the whole flock. They don't even run away. You people aren't any different. I'm going to tell you, there was a guy that followed my channel for a while. His name was Matt, oh shucks, I can't think of his last name right now, but he was in North Carolina. And since his murder, and I'm sure he was murdered, his brother, Mike, has stayed in touch with me a little bit. And Mike gave me some information that is really unusual, so I want to pass this along to y'all. Sampson County, North Carolina. Sampson County, North Carolina, fires. Y'all ought to check a little bit of that out. Dunn was a pastor's name who got burned up in his house, and I think he was a hip or an awake type of pastor or something. There's a lot goes on in North Carolina. I've known about North Carolina and their police departments and their sheriff's offices and everything since the 70s, since the late 70s. I have people that live down there for close to 50 years. So I know about them. There was one guy, his name was John Coffey, I think. He was in some fast food parking lot, and the cops opened up on his car in the parking lot. I mean, we're talking a public business. I think it was a hamburger, McDonald's or something. But anyway, they shot his car with 240 bullets was fired at him in his car. 240 bullets. And then they walked over to the car and stuck a shotgun in the edge of the window at point blank range to make sure that he couldn't tell no tales to nobody. Now, I want to say this. In Sampson County, North Carolina, these fires, this is what I've been told. Within about a 30-mile radius, of where Matt was murdered, numerous other fires and deaths, unexplained, mysterious. Do you folks, I want you to listen to me. The United Nations, as well as the CIA, the NSA, all of them work together. And they have teams of assassins who are filling their hit list. Some of these people burned up in these things were women. But when you're a researcher, when you know things, when you're talking to other people, you can easily become a target. You can become a target. And there is, I think, 6, maybe 7 other fires resulting in a mysterious death within a 30-mile radius of where Matt was murdered in his house, and accelerants or a microwave technology was used, because the center of the fire, no heater fire, the center of the fire was started in the middle of the house and consumed the entire inside of the house before it got outside. You folks need to understand, you need to pay attention to what's going on around you, because your neighbors could be a target and you could be a target. And some of y'all need to talk about this amongst yourselves. But Sampson County, North Carolina fires. Very strange indeed. And I know that these things are planned. They are planned operations. These are details that are being carried out by hit squads. And these hit squads are tied in with the sheriff's departments, because this kind of stuff, operation, they, in that 30-mile radius, they can do everything with a team of military specialists. They can stay overnight, over days, over weeks in the woods. So they can go out in that forest from this, say, 30-mile radius, and they can wander around in the forest and go to different places that they're going to hit. Then they can be transported out and go to another location where they're going to fill a hit list in another location. But this stuff is being done with in the police departments and the sheriff's departments are going along with this, and some of their people are in on it, I'm sure. Because some of the sheriff's departments and those kind of people were stalking my house when I was living in Grants Pass, Oregon, where all them murders took place down there. And because the police and the people around there were associated in business ways with the junkyard people who lived across the valley from me and everything, nothing was ever done about it. But folks, this is going on all across the country. I guarantee you it's going on everywhere, and it's been going on for a good while. When I was in Tennessee, a whole bunch of people got murdered up on the side of a mountain down there, and they said it was a lightning strike and a forest fire, and the newspaper said nothing about the people getting killed. This is going on, and you folks need to pay attention to what's going on around y'all. This is happening all across the United States. I guarantee you it is.